Alright, shed update. Guess as of late I've been working on more of the same. So the Fender has been my project. So I got all the paint stripped off and everything all ground down and all the little tiny surface rust spots for the most part removed. I can't quite get it all out. I mean, the only real way to do this is either like chemically or with a sandblaster. You know, there's still a few little speckles, but I think in the interest of what this car is, I think we're all right. I just don't want it to be completely terrible and to be bubbling through in a year and a half. It'll take more like 10 or 15 at this rate. So I think for what we've got going on, that's all right. The other day I got the fender patch all done and welded in. More or less pleased with it. However, at the end, it kind of kicks in this way at the tip. Probably see a little bit disappointing. I didn't really notice until it was all welded up. It kind of looked good, and then when it was all done, I saw it and I was like, ah. So I think what I'm gonna do here, I don't really want to have a whole lot of filler going on here because of where the grill panel sits right next to it. You know, putting it together, it might chip. So I think I'm gonna try and sneak this into the metals lab and get a little bit of lead on there to kind of build that up. But I mean, it's not really that big a deal. It's just something that's gonna bother me when I have to stare at it. So came out pretty good. Let's see here. Yeah. So worked out. Had to make a couple other little pieces for it, but it was a fun little full day project. Really shouldn't be a full day project, but seeing as I'm pretty much an amateur, to do it somewhat nicely, it just takes a lot of time. So this morning, this was my little project. Replace those little pieces. The welds kind of look like hell. There's no real way to finish those out or make it very nice doing it the way I did, so I'm just gonna kind of with a little bit of seam sealer, and that's gonna be fine. Again, this is a driver automobile. This is not a showpiece. I just don't want it to be a piece of junk. So, but for this, I mean, I could painstakingly clean all this like I did up here, but I don't really want to because this took a lot of time to do and there's a lot of grinder marks. So I think this is going to get lightly wire wheeled. This I'm going to have to clean thoroughly because this gets painted body color, but this is all like sort of black. So I'm going to lightly wire wheel all this and pour 15 the whole inner fender and then paint it black. I might spray the pour 15 to try and reduce brush marks, but we'll see. This side is very nice. Hardly any surface rust at all. This is going to get like partially removed like quickly with my sander and then paint it over because that's fine. This is going to clean up very nicely. It's hardly, I mean, it's like the lightest of surface rust that's just going to sand off. So not too worried about that at all. That should be pretty easy. I gotta mess with these and then I gotta weld up the holes here for the trim. I did that already on here. So I've still got a fair amount to keep me busy. I think the plan of action is gonna be get the fenders sorted, or at least mostly sorted, like cleaned up, everything for the most part wire wheeled and ready for paint, but still bare. Do the same to the hood and the grill panel. Those are not going to take a whole lot. Those are pretty nice. And while it's all bare, get everything all fitted up to the car, get the gaps reasonable. It's going to be a bit of a pain. Get everything all bolted together and kind of mocked up. Figure out what needs body work and what doesn't. And go from there. So that'll be the game plan, but I'm still several mornings out on that with the rate it's going. So more soon, but it'll probably be a little while before it looks drastic enough to warrant a video. So I guess until that happens,